Hey guys, welcome back to Spin Cycle. I am of course your host Tony Giles TG, and on this episode I want to talk about one of the greatest albums to ever come out of Memphis, Tennessee. I am talking about Jay Reatard's Blood Visions. Now folks, if you have never heard this album, what does the cover say to you? What does it look like this album contains? If you look at this and think raw, primal, angry, melodic, fight the power, punk rock, just middle fingers to everybody, stick it to the man, pouring your heart out, just there is so much in this one album. If you have never heard this album, I recommend pausing this video, heading over to your favorite, wherever you find music, and listening to this album. And I suggest listening to the track number 4 on there, My Shadow, my personal favorite from this album. This was the debut solo album from Jay Reatard. Now, Jay was in a litany of bands, pretty much since his early teens. And unfortunately, we did lose him 15 years ago. And it's such a shame to have to say that, because this album, if this was a marker for if this was a starting point for a musician, it's like this guy would have taken over the world. Seriously, the music on here, if you boil it down, the melting pot of music, if you took kind of the energy and aggression of Motorhead and you threw in some Misfits and you threw in the Ramones, you added a little dash of early White Stripes, some early Strokes, some early Blondie, you just combined everything that was grimy, but also you add that unique Memphisness. There's something in the water in Memphis. I'm not quite sure what it is. I've only been there once, but I have experienced it for myself. This album is truly something unbelievable, and unlike a lot of records you'll hear today, and that's no knock on modern music, this is just absolutely incredible, and unfortunately the only one we have. This was released in 2009 on Fat Possum Records, and what I have here, this is the black vinyl version, and I'll show you, just comes in a plain sleeve and a nice simple white label. There are no frills because you don't need them. The majesty, the magic is within the grooves. And when I say there is magic within these grooves, my friends, I'm not just BSing you. I know that a lot of shows on YouTube will talk about certain records and they'll say, oh, this is this, and you need to listen to this. This is just an incredible, incredible record. It's an amazing album, Blood Visions. If you've never heard this album, no matter how much I talk about it, you're never going to get it until you hear it for yourself. This one obviously pressed at the Memphis record pressing plant, but that's not why I'm speaking about it. I'm speaking about it because it's just a freaking good album and it deserves to be heard. It's a shame it's short. I listened to this album on repeat pretty much once, twice, 3 times, depending on where I'm going in the car. I listen to it at home. I crank it at ungodly levels. This is an album that belongs in everybody's record collection. It really does. And what could have been? What could have been? It's a tale as old as time, but trust me, if you have never heard Jay Reatard's Blood Visions, please check it out. I urge you to do so ASAP. If you're a fan, fast, melodic, get you going, get hyped, get pumped. And I'm not talking like get pumped in a gym bro way. I'm talking about, this is the kind of record that can change the world. All we need to do is get everybody listening to it. But that's all the time I have here on this episode of Spin Cycle. And as I mentioned on our last episode, if you would like to cop some of this great Memphis swag that I'm always wearing, head on over to mrpswag.com. You can check out the Memphis Records range of merchandise there. There is tons of awesome stuff over there. I need to get me a new order in ASAP. But for now, when you think vinyl, think Memphis.